Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks very much for the wait. I know I've been a long time since I've done a football Premier League review. I've just been really busy with... Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since I've done a Premier League review. I've been really busy, very sorry about that. So here I am now with what's been quite a big weekend for the title race in England, as well as obviously West Ham going on quite a good run, which I do kind of want to gloat about a little bit because it's quite rare that as a West Ham fan you get a lot to cheer about. But we might as well do it. So we'll start with the West Ham game, which was the home win against Crystal Palace, the London derby at the London Stadium. 3-2 win for West Ham, which is off the back of two previous wins against Newcastle and Cardiff in midweek. So a really good week for West Ham. 3 victories, 3 goals in each game, which is really good. This is quite of a bit of a weird one lately. We're used to kind of West Ham maybe picking up the odd win here and there. I think this is the first time they won back-to-back games for over a year. First time they won 3 games in a row since something like 2014, which is crazy when you think about it. But in this game, again, West Ham first half they were actually quite poor, and probably Palace had the better of the opportunities, and kind of it was a bit of a really poor goal for West Ham defensively to concede. It was a free kick come in. I think it was Tompkins who got the flick on. Nobody followed into the box when McCarthy kind of on his own beat Fabianski to the ball and bundled it into the goal, and it was 1-0 Palace. But from there, West Ham had a lot of possession kind of at the back and in the midfield, but nothing really that well going forward, especially in the final third. Some of the passing was really bad. There was some terrible final balls. There was a couple of opportunities where there was a breakaway on, but the pass just went awry or just was overhit. Just some terrible kind of passing displays West Ham showed, which was really a shame because against Cardiff and against Newcastle, they showed how well they can really do that. So it was quite frustrating. The kind of the mindset setting of here we go again. We all kind of got built up, and then now we're going back to our misery that we used to do. But the second half completely changed. Palace actually hit the crossbar just before half time from a free kick, which really would have kind of solidified their position and made their game plan very easy of just sit back and let West Ham attack. But with 1-0, there's always precarious. Zaha's always going to be a threat for them, but they nullified him quite well, West Ham, between Zabaleta and Snodgrass. As well, when he cut inside, there was a few good tackles from Diop as well that kind of nullified. He didn't really create a lot, Zaha. He was kind of, and once you kind of neutralise him, you kind of cut out a lot of Palace's attacking threat. So second half, West Ham come out. West Ham come out much more on the front foot, really going at Palace. They scored a great goal actually by Snodgrass. It was a cross that came in. Ball was kind of headed out to him. He won control. Lovely curling shot into the top corner, and nothing really Hennessy could do about it. Which it was really good for Snodgrass because he has been playing really well lately. So I'm glad he got his goal to kind of cement his sort of status now, because he was kind of left out he was signed by Bilic but wasn't really used properly. Then he was loaned out for a season. We all thought, okay, that's going to be the end of Snodgrass. He'll loan him out. He'll probably end up signing for Villa, or he'll go at the end. But Pellegrini kind of seemed to really like him, and he's a really good workhorse. He always 110%, which is really good to see. You always want to see someone that tries. He's not the best in terms of his ability. He's not going to take on 7 players and score a wonder goal, but he works hard. He constantly runs. He's constantly at the height of his energy. His stamina seems to be the same at the end of the game than it is at the start. It's really good to see, which was always good to see from any sort of player. So he got his goal, which I was really happy for him. And then from there, West Ham kind of really piled on the pressure. Then won a free kick. Anderson took it. It was a good save from Hennessy, but he probably should have either palmed it off or kind of got a stronger hand to it. He palmed it straight out to Hernandez. Again, similar to where the Palace goal came from, none of the Palace players followed in. Only Hernandez was the only one that followed in the ball, and he was empty net essentially. Hennessy was on the floor. Made it 2-1, and then West Ham again kept going at Palace. Didn't settle for a 2-1. Didn't think, okay, we'll start sitting back now. Kept going. Anderson with a brilliant goal where he picked it up from the left-hand side, curled it in on his right foot, top corner, absolutely spectacular. Something we really you see a player that's now kind of really grown in confidence in the league. He started off slowly, he built slowly, but now you can really see he's found his groove, he's found his sort of temperament. He wasn't brilliant in this game. I'm not going to say that it was his best game I've ever seen him play. I still don't like the fact that when he plays on that side with Masuaku, it seems really exposed because he doesn't track back. He's got better at it, but he's still not the best at it, Anderson. I still preferred to see Cresswell play there because Cresswell was still he's a natural left back. His natural defensive sort of reading of the game is there, with Masuaku's isn't. Masuaku's more of a winger. He's just kind of playing at left back at the moment. So I would rather see him play with Cresswell or have Anderson play on the other side with Zabaleta and have Snodgrass play with Masuaku, because Snodgrass can track back. He does have that sort of tenacity and ability about him. But going forward, Anderson, you can't have many complaints with him. Again, this was a great goal, capped a great week for him, and a great sort of few games that he's really kind of grown into his own, and he's really kind of found his groove now in the Premier League, which is really good to see, especially with a player that West Ham paid £40 million for. In other teams where he would have a little bit more time maybe to embed, he needed to kind of produce quickly at West Ham, and he's kind of starting to do that, which is really good. Palace did pull a goal back towards the end. It was Jeffrey Schlupp, was a corner. West Ham kind of fell asleep a little bit, and he kind of snuck in and got a free header in, which was disappointing to see. But West Ham held on from there. Palace didn't really create a great deal going forward. West Ham managed to kind of calm their things down, shape up the team a little bit, make it hard for them, and picked up the victory, which is obviously 3 wins in a row, like I've said before. So really, these are games where we should be winning. Obviously, we've got a few more games coming up now, which again are games where we think we should get points out of, and that's what you want to see. That's what you can really ask for. Like when we played against teams like Liverpool and United and City and stuff like that, as much as you really want to beat those teams, they're not a given. So if you do beat them, they're a bonus. But against teams like Cardiff and Newcastle and Crystal Palace, and we've got Fulham next week, they're games where we're thinking we should be getting points out of, and at the moment we are, which is good, because that's where you want to be picking up teams if you want to sit in that sort of just below the top 5, 6, 7th, 8th position, which I'm hoping West Ham can try and achieve this season. So elsewhere in the league, there was a big shake-up at the top where Chelsea beat Manchester City 2-0 at Stamford Bridge. Goals from N'Golo Kante and David Luiz settled the game for Chelsea, which was a game where City... this is when you really notice they missed players like De Bruyne, who's been out injured for a while, who really kind of makes them tick. He's the one that will find that pass that nobody else is looking for. He'll produce a little bit of magic that really kind of galvanises City, where they've got players that do it, that Silva and Aguero, and everyone can do it. But De Bruyne is probably one of the best at it, and where he's not been there, I think this is the game where they really missed him. So he probably would have given that little extra spark that they needed, because they seemed a bit not quite on their game, City. Some of their passing was great as it always has been, but I don't know, there wasn't something just quite there, and City took advantage of that, and they probably did run out deserved winners. There was obviously a lot of controversy in this game due to an incident with Raheem Sterling, which he went to retrieve the ball down in the corner, and a load of Chelsea fans were hurling a lot of abuse at him. Some of it came across as being racist on the video, which is not what you want to see. We was hoping obviously this was be moved out of the game now, but unfortunately he's still there. What's been interesting is obviously not this sort of thing shouldn't be happening in football, so those fans, hopefully they get the rightful punishment which they deserve, but it's how the media have portrayed a lot of this. They're all kind of on Raheem Sterling's side now. They're all kind of backing him and saying this is abusive and this shouldn't happen, which rightly so. But this is the same media that's condemned him for months, when just calling him names, calling him an idiot footballer. But he's a young guy in his early 20s who's a multi-millionaire. So I don't understand a lot of the media hate towards Raheem Sterling. Yes, he's a bit flashy and he kind of shows off a lot of his money, but if I was a 20-year-old and I was a multi-millionaire, I'd probably be flashing and show off my money as well, as though they in the same circumstance. So I don't quite get this sort of juxtaposition now that he's the victim of a terrible incident, that they're all kind of suddenly backing him. It just seems a bit, I don't know, a bit two-faced, a bit sort of we'll back him there because it's the popular thing to do, but when it's popular to hate Raheem Sterling, they're all going to pile on him again. So I don't know, it's just the media. I'd try to stay away from newspapers and stuff. They're all just a bit rubbish and biased anyway. Obviously Liverpool picked up a win which made them now go top of the league, which they picked up a 4-0 win away at Bournemouth, which was completed with a Mo Salah hat-trick, although the first goal was offside, so that shouldn't have really stood. I do think the game, although Liverpool did deserve to win the game, I think 4-0 kind of flatters them a little bit, because Bournemouth did play well, they had their chances, but Liverpool overall found it quite comfortable. So now they've been their best start to a season of ever. This apparently includes all of their history in the 80s and the 70s, where they were kind of the dominant team in England. So will they go on and win it? Maybe. Obviously, I thought Liverpool would run City close. City have slipped up first, losing to Chelsea, so now it's down to Liverpool to keep this run going. Will they go the season unbeaten? I don't think so. I think there's enough holes that people can see in the Liverpool team where someone will pick up a victory against them eventually. It's just whether City can keep going, not let this loss to Chelsea affect them too much and get back to winning ways next week. Also, Arsenal picked up a very late win against Huddersfield. Also, Tottenham picked up another good win away. They're the little sort of blips at the start of the season. Obviously, they lost to Chelsea recently, but they're now really sitting coming into their own, so they're kind of cementing their top four finish. Man United picked up a very rare win lately. They've been on a little unbeaten run, not losing but drawing a lot of games. They beat Fulham 4-1, which was an easy victory for them. They've really struggled lately, Man United, with kind of going forward and attacking. There was a game, I think a week or so ago, where they drew 0-0 at Palace, was described as one of the most boring games ever witnessed in English football, which doesn't surprise me. So getting a win is a big boost to them. They're sitting in around sort of sixth position, but they're closer to the teams below them than the other teams in front of them, so that's not where Man United want to be. So interested to see what they do in January with the transfer window. Will they spend big again, try to get some more attacking talent in, or will they even look to maybe change Mourinho out before then, so a new manager can come in and make his changes in January? That's yet to be seen. The kind of Mourinho going talk has kind of died down a lot lately, as it was quite rife at the start of the season, but you never know. At the bottom, Wolves picked up a vital win away at Newcastle. That was a very, very late win. I think it was in the 93rd minute. They were losing 1-0. They were winning, and then Newcastle equalised. But Wolves got the very late win. Again, probably deserved from their point of view. They'd struggled lately, but they seem to have picked up a little bit more now. Cardiff picked up a vital win at home to Southampton, who have just obviously sacked Mark Hughes and has got a new manager, and I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. I looked at the spelling and thought, no, I'm not going to try that. So Southampton struggles continue, whereas Cardiff, obviously after losing to West Ham in midweek, picked up a win that they really needed to kind of keep their kind of hopes alive. Fulham obviously losing to Man United, still bottom of the league, really struggling. A lot of people's tips to stay up pretty comfortably, but they're really starting to struggle now. Ranieri's coming in, he got a win in his first game, but he can't quite get it. I don't think there's a lot of it's nothing to do with him. I think it's the squad that they have. So in January they really need to look to strengthen defensively, and going forward they need to try and find a way they're going to score more goals, because that's their big struggle. Yes, they conceded 4 to United, but they don't usually concede a lot of goals for them, but it's just they can't seem to get anyone to score for them. Mitrovic is okay, but he's not a prolific striker who's going to keep you up. They need somebody else in. So maybe they can get someone on loan, and hopefully they can pull themselves together. That's it for this week. Thanks very much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye.